What is up, you guys? So in this video I'm going to talk about how I'm planning to save $100,000 within about 2 years. As a normal dude with a normal job, well, kind of normal, over-the-road truck driver. If you don't already know, if you can't tell, I'm in a truck. And why I'm doing it, where I'm putting my money as I do it, and yeah, this video should be helpful to anybody, though, not just people in their 20s. So even if you're not in your 20s, you can still watch the whole thing. And the general principles of, managing personal finances and things will apply, of course, to everyone. And I'm going to try to keep this pretty concise for you guys. So I'm just going to get straight into how I'm actually doing this, and then why I'm doing it. So the first and biggest thing of the whole foundation of all of this is, one, I track all of my money that comes in and goes out down to the penny. I've done this for years and years and years. It's the only way that you're ever going to reach any sort of financial goal, is if you're actually collecting all of the data of your personal finances. So that's step one. And what I do to track it is, there's dozens of apps out there. I used to use Mint, but RIP to Mint. It's very sad that they shut that down. But there's lots of apps out there that you connect your bank accounts, your credit cards, everything, and it tracks all of your spending and all of your earnings and puts it in nice, easy to follow little graphs and things like that. There's not a really good one that I use right now that I could recommend, but do a little bit of research, see which one would fit for you, which one you want to try. Use one of those apps. It makes it super easy. Or you could write everything down on pen and paper. I've also done that in the past, and that can be helpful as well. So number one, tracking expenses, and then once you do that, you can make a budget. So I don't budget so much now, just because I've cut my expenses to an absolute minimum. I don't really need to budget. But when I had a normal job and I was paying rent and stuff, I did make a budget, and I lived by a budget as strict as possible. When you have rent and utilities and groceries and everything, and you don't have a ton of disposable income, a budget is extremely important. So if you're in that sort of situation, then make a budget and live by the budget. So the second big thing that I've done is, like I said, cut my expenses to an absolute bare minimum. Right now, all of my fixed expenses that recur monthly are just over $1,000 a month, or no, under $1,000 a month, but including food, my total all in necessary spend is just over $1,000 a month. So my car payment is $466. My phone is $80. Spotify is $7 or $10 a month, I think. And I have a gym membership that's $17 a month, and I think that's it. I could be missing something. But yeah, so those are really my only fixed expenses. I don't pay rent anywhere because I live in this truck. And I'll get into that a little bit too. This plan does require a lot of sacrifice, but if you're getting everything out of it, it can definitely be worth it. So I don't pay rent anywhere. My expenses are at such a bare minimum that I don't really need to budget, like I was saying. And my income is, relative to my spending, pretty high. So on the worst months, like in the winter, I can make about 4,000. I think that's what I made December, January. But last month I brought home about 6,000. This month I'm on track to bring home over 6,000 again, and it should stay like that over the summer until winter weather comes back around in November maybe, or October, November. So for the next 6 months or so, the income should be around 6,000 a month take home, maybe a little more, hopefully, for a couple of the months. I don't know, but essentially my plan it's very simple and very boring. Is to save $4,000 per month for 25 months. That equals $100,000. And I've just kept my expenses super low and never gotten myself into high interest, bad debts. I have the car loan, but that's the only debt I have, and it's $466 a month, so it's nothing crazy. But no credit card debt, nothing else like that. I've kept my fixed monthly expenses extremely low, so all I really have to worry about is that minimal, those minimal payments, and then food and water to live. I don't have to pay rent, I don't have to pay utilities, nothing like that. So I should, in theory, be able to save about $4,000 a month on average, for the next couple years, as long as I keep living well below my means. And that's really the only difficult part about this plan, is that it does require a lot of sacrifice. But over the road driving in general takes tons of sacrifice, even if you do it with a better work-life balance than I do. I never really or I try to not go home as much as possible, which sounds bad, but I'm trying to get to this goal as quick as I can. That's my priority right now. So and I'm doing this now so that I can spend more time at home with people that I care about. I can spend more time with them in the future. But this job does take a lot of sacrifice, no matter how you do it. So, I want to make sure that I really get something out of it that's worth my time. So, this is what I'm doing. So now with this money that I'm saving, I'm actually investing pretty much all of it. I only keep like $1,000 or $1,200 in my actual bank account. I put everything else, I funnel it all into my investing. So first, maxing out my Roth IRA, which I have through Robinhood, which they do a 3% match if you pay for Robinhood Gold, which is $60 for the year, I believe, or $5 a month. I don't remember exactly, but it's $10 cheaper if you do the annual subscription, I think. So if you invest up to I forgot what the match amount is to get $60 of money, matched $60 back, then Robinhood Gold pays for itself. So they do the 3% match in your Roth IRA, or I think any IRA that you have through them, and then also they have 5%. A 5% yield, essentially a high yield savings account, 5% yield on any uninvested cash you just have sitting in your brokerage account. So just uninvested money, essentially it's, just like a savings account. You're getting 5% on that. I think it's 5.25% for the first 3 months or something. I could be wrong, don't quote me. For the first 3 months of Robinhood Gold, and then it's 5% thereafter. But that, of course, could change at any time. That's just because interest rates are high now. So, they're offering that 5%, which I think is better than most high-yield savings accounts. The ones that I've heard of and seen are like 4.5% or something typically. So, if you don't have Robinhood, you might be something worth looking into, especially, for the IRA match. So, the Roth IRA contribution limit starting in 2024 is $7,000 for the year. Up until now, it was $6,500. So 3% of $7,000 is $210 extra for free that you get to put into a Roth IRA, where typically anywhere else legally you'd only be able to put $7,000 in. So you're getting an extra $210. So that is pretty cool. I don't think that there's anywhere else you can do that. So and then besides that, what I'm putting it into, like what I'm actually investing in, is just basically like general stock markets, index funds, S&P 500, VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500, and then QQQM, which is the NASDAQ. And I should say, before I go further into this, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Do your own research. Everything these are just my opinions of what I'm doing. Uh, and I'm just a truck driver, so don't take any of this as financial advice. Don't try to sue me, okay, if this goes horribly wrong. But QQQM, which is the NASDAQ, tracks the NASDAQ. There's QQQ and then QQQM, which is the same exact thing essentially, but QM has a slightly cheaper expense ratio. And it's not as old as QQQ. I'm not sure why they even made it, but it has a lower expense ratio, and it's the same thing as triple Q. So QQM and VOO are my two biggest because those are like the general stock market. Okay, and then I have a few other investments, but generally I would say if I'm saying things that I believe in for sure is the general U.S. economy. So those two are the big two. And the reason that I'm doing this, saving and investing all this money, is because at the end of the day, pennies make pennies and millions make millions. The faster you can build up a large investment portfolio, the sooner compound interest is really going to start working in your favor. Because let's say the market returns on average 8% a year. 8% of $1,000 is not much. 8% of $100,000 still isn't that much. 8,000, but you're starting to build up to bigger and bigger numbers. And if we have like another couple like amazing years like we have recently, of like 20 or 30% returns in the Nasdaq and the S&P, that could be $20 or $30,000 off $100,000. No, I'm definitely not counting on that happening, but just saying, if the market continues to explode like it has been, it is possible. But even if not, I mean, technically on paper, the best thing that could happen as you're building a portfolio is that prices fall and fall and fall, for the next like decade or so, and then by the time you're ready to start living off your investments, then the market starts climbing again, because then you keep buying at cheaper prices. The worst thing that could happen is that, well, not the worst thing, but if it keeps going up and I have to keep buying at higher prices and then it comes back down, whatever. Over the long term, historically, the stock market is always a good bet. It always goes up. I don't think that there's any 20-year period where there's ever a loss in the stock market. I'm pretty sure. I've heard that several times. I haven't actually looked at every single 20-year period, but I do believe that that's true. So yeah, $100,000. I'm investing all of it, pretty much, into the stock market at this point. If something else comes up, if I end up wanting to, I don't know, buy a house or something, if interest rates come back down or the market starts to look good somewhere that I like, then maybe I'll think about taking some of the money out, putting it into a house or something. But until then, I'm going for that $4,000 a month into my brokerage account, and that's how I'm doing it. If you're young, if you're in your 20s and you're not sure what you want to do and you want to get ahead financially, this could be a really good way to do it. It, of course, takes a little sacrifice, like I said, but if you're trying to, I don't want to say get rich quick, but if you're trying to get rich, quick, or build a large sum of money quick, you can either do it in a very risky way and maybe lose everything, or you can do it in a very difficult way and it's going to be more of a sure thing. I would say that that's kind of what I'm doing falls into that camp. It's a pretty quick accumulation of money, but it's not like a get rich quick sort of thing. Hopefully that makes sense. I think that that's all I have for this video. I'll put a link for Robinhood, where if you download it using that link, you can get a free stock, and as will I. Um, and I'm not affiliated with Robinhood, of course, but I use their platform, and I think that offer that they have right now is really good. So if you want to hop on it, use the link, and I think that's about it for this video. See y'all in the next one. Peace.